What is up, true believers? It's Mason here with Comics and Crosses, where we discuss the eternal truths behind our modern mythology. And today, I'd like to talk about the X-Men and what's going on in the X-Men world. The Onslaught Revelation just came out today, and we have Inferno starting next week. And the whole Krakowan Hickman era of X-Men has been an interesting one, to say the least. And here's the biggest question that I think it's brought up. Should the X-Men, or should anyone, play God? Okay, so for those of you who have or have not been up to date with the X-Men, let's just kind of briefly summarize what's been going on. With Dawn of X and Powers of 10, as Hickman came into the X-Men world, the whole X-Men line has been sort of rebooted, and there's been a new era of X-Men where we've seen all of the mutants, good and bad, all unite under the single purpose of creating a new world, a brighter future for mutants. And so this has had to do with a lot of time travel and a lot of pooling of people's powers. And ultimately, it's led to this paradise, this island of Krakow, which was now a nation, declared themselves a sovereign nation, to be recognized, asking to be recognized by other nations around the world. And the big thing here is that the mutants have found a way to cheat death, to resurrect those who die. So, kind of crazy. So, I mean, people always come back in comics, but, but this is real straightforward. They have the ability to put somebody's consciousness in a new body and keep them going. So, which has raised some interesting questions that were explored in Way of X. I did a couple reviews of those. And so, here's what I wanted to talk about. Things are kind of coming to a head in the X-Men world. We have the Onslaught Revelation out now, spinning out of Way of X, and realizing that Onslaught has been feeding off the consciousness of, I think, those that have been resurrected, kind of in between or something like that. But here's the big thing. The X-Men are resurrecting people. The X-Men are, the mutants, I should say, are playing God. They believe that they have controlled their own destiny. They have faced their biggest threat and defeated it by creating this perfect world. So now that kind of raises the question, should the mutants be playing God? Should anybody be playing God? From a Christian perspective, what does that mean? Some of us look at science today and we think, wow, there's some pretty incredible things that we might thought were never possible that now seem possible, and it might even make you question your faith or wonder if there is a God. Or if you already didn't believe in God, you might think this proves it even more so. So I wanted to talk about this a little bit, and you see that what the X-Men are doing, it really reminds me of a particular story in the Bible. So in Genesis, there's a story about and it's kind of a short story, but it's a mentioning of an area called Babel, where people all gathered and basically said, let's make a great society, to ourselves. Let's build a great structure. And they were building this great tower that, could supposedly go all the way to heaven. So, and God looked down and saw this and saw what they were capable of when they were in unity, but that it was not good. So there was something glorious, something incredible about what and this is humanity, this is in the Bible, they're talking about humans, could accomplish when they were together and had a singular focus and purpose. But it was not good. And I have a couple thoughts on that. So one reason it might have not been good was because God's commandment to humanity at the beginning was be fruitful and multiply, cultivate the entire earth. So here is God saying, go out and rule the earth and have authority over it. And then these people are trying to just gather and stay in one place and make something great about how awesome they are. And that's kind of the other thing, is this wasn't really about paying honor to God. This was about doing something incredible that showed how great they were. And so there's, you know, the difference in the heart attitude there can be significant. Like if you think about it, somebody who does something philanthropic, or, you know, does something generous because they care, is one thing. But somebody who gives something away because they have an ulterior motive, or because they want it to reflect on themselves, it just feels dirtier. It just feels less pure. So that's what I would say. And so you kind of see that same thing happening. And Hickman, I think, is very clearly bringing up some big ideas, some big questions. I mean, there's the X-Men 7, where they really show this crucible idea, and Nightcrawler and other X-Men kind of struggling with their morals, their faith, their ethics, what they believe in light of this new world where the X-Men sort of play God and resurrect people, and consider themselves worthy, capable of handling such a big thing. And it's dangerous, and naturally now, so we're seeing things start to unravel a bit, and we're starting to see real problems come to Krakow. I thought Way of X, that story, even showed it pretty well, like how kind of they said make more mutants, you know, and so but they were having a problem with all these mutant babies and taking care of them, and then like people relating and stuff. There was all these unforeseen complications, which there always are. I mean, I think in any attempt at doing anything great, there's always complications. So but the mutants are doing the same thing. They've banded together, they're in unity, and they're trying to create something perfect to basically to preserve themselves, and also to kind of pay honor to themselves. And the storyline that comes out next week is Inferno, and which I think is referencing to Dante's Inferno, a descent into hell. And so that's what may be coming for this perfect paradise, heaven-like world that the mutants have created. Is they're going to find that it's going to lead to a great descent into a very dark place. But that's yet to be seen. So let me know what you think. If you were familiar with this story of the Tower of Babel, if you can see the parallels, if you agree with me, or if not, maybe you look at the story differently. Yeah, those are my thoughts. That's where the X-Men is at, and I am very interested to see what goes down in Inferno. I'm sad that Hickman is not going to be really sticking around and making the full scope of the plan he originally intended, but he, like a lot of other creators, are going to Substack. So we'll see what comes out of that. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate your support on the channel. Please like the video, subscribe, share with anybody you think might like it, and until next time, peace.